These are three reasons why lean is lost, starting with the first one, which is going to be the attraction factor that you gain from being lean, which is absolutely invaluable. So growing up, I was extremely skinny. I had no muscle whatsoever. And to add on top of that, I was also super shy and insecure, and I really struggled socially. I struggled to make friends and just forget about girls. I didn't have any successful girls whatsoever. So this kind of started to change when I was 17 and when quarantine hit. I started to work out every single day. I was really adding a bunch of muscle to my upper body, specifically my shoulders, my chest, my back, and I stayed super lean. So I was like 8 to 10% body fat. My abs were chiseled. You could see every single cut, all the definition. My face was super lean. And then I really started to notice something interesting. The first thing that I noticed was when I started to hang out with my boys once again, once we were finally let out of quarantine. They were like, holy shit, Seb, you got huge. The respect and admiration that I got from my friends went instantly through the roof. And then the next thing I noticed was we were going to cliff jumping spots and girls were actually starting to pay attention to me. I was noticing some glances from girls, some smiles, and through both of our friend groups, because there's usually a girls' friend group and then us as our guys' friend group, we would end up talking a little bit. And like I said, I wasn't the best socially, but I was okay. I could manage at the time. I wasn't who I am now, but I managed to the point where I was noticing that girls were taken to me. When I was at these cliff jumping spots, shirtless, I was starting to get some attention from girls, and as I wasn't the smoothest, it went okay. There was quite a few times when I noticed that girls were starting to pay attention to me, and it was starting to really go well for me for the first time ever. So the attraction factor that you gain from having muscle mass while staying lean is absolutely invaluable. It makes you look so much better. And we're gonna dive into the next two reasons. But before we do, I built every single one of you a testosterone boosting guide. This is gonna help you so much in packing on muscle and losing fat so that you can achieve that aesthetic body look. And that is completely for free. It's the first thing in the description below. And the second reason is gonna be the discipline identity that you create for yourself that everyone's gonna instantly recognize within you without having to say a single word. And this has been a massive cheat code for me. See, over the last 4 years, when I've been learning social skills and pushing my comfort zone, I've been solo traveling to many different cities. I've probably gone to at least 8 to 12 new cities in these last 4 years, starting with absolutely nothing, no friends, no connections, nothing. And then having every single night, by the end of the night, friends, girls to go home with, people who I just partied with and had a great time with. And this is something I've done time and time again. So what has been the factor that's allowed me to do that? Well, one, the attraction factor, which we described earlier, but two is the discipline identity that's allowed them to know who I am as a person without having to speak about it, without them having to see that unfold over time. They automatically just see, okay, this guy is disciplined, he's hardworking, he's goal-oriented, and 100 other good positive character traits that you automatically get labeled with by being someone who has focused on the one area that you have full control over. There's no excuse why any single one of you should not be ripped and jacked. It's not like finances where you might have run into a bad luck, something could have happened, a financial crisis, people are born into different circumstances. Everyone has complete control over their physique, what they do in terms of physical exercise, and what they eat, which is what really controls your physique. So everyone has complete control over this. There's no excuse why you cannot be ripped, lean, and jacked. And that is why it speaks so much volume to your character. And the third and final reason is that people are constantly going to be giving you the benefit of the doubt and assuming the best in you on things that may not even be true. They're always just going to give you the most positive, optimistic labels and associations just because you're ripped, you're disciplined, you're attractive, and you're lean. And I have so many different examples of this. Things like recently traveling to Norway, going there absolutely by myself, never having gone to this country before, just showing up looking sharp, having my clothes tailored, having my ripped, lean physique, going up being extremely confident and charismatic with all the girls and anyone who I interact with, all the friends that I make, and them just assuming that I'm the motherfucking man. It's just kind of automatic. They're like, oh, this dude's the fucking guy. He can just come to a new country, chat to every single girl, make friends. And that's kind of the label and identity that everyone sees me as when I go there. They're just like, oh yeah, this is the guy. Even if I wasn't, they would just assume that because of the way that I portray myself. And the thing is, without the key ingredients of having the lean, ripped physique, that discipline identity, and the attraction factor, it wouldn't be that simple. right? So here's another example going all the way back to when I was 18. Like I told you, I really wasn't having too much success in high school, but I finally started to get a little bit of success when I started to build my physique. I remember having like one or two girls here or there. I kissed a couple girls, something like that. Nothing crazy at all. And I was still completely incompetent with girls. And in my friend group, I was kind of up there. There was like me and one other kid who had a girlfriend, and everyone else was struggling. And then there was this other friend group who we hung out with sometimes, and they were killing the game with girls. They were having, I don't even know what they were on. They were just killing it. They had success to a level that we couldn't have even imagined. And when we would hang out with them, I remember, everyone's always making fun of each other, the guy shit, like, when it's just all the boys, you don't get girls type of shit. Oh yeah, you get no bitches. And they actually gave me the benefit of the doubt. They're like, oh yeah, Seb pulls. Because, they never got clowned for not getting girls, but some of the friends in my friend group were getting clowned, but they excluded me from that, They were giving me the benefit of the doubt because I was attractive, because I had a little success here and there. Like I kissed a couple of girls, I slept with like one at that point. It was just, they were just like, oh yeah, he's on the in, just because I was attractive, lean, ripped. They saw the physique. They saw all these things that led to success with girls. They knew I was gonna be doing well. Whereas the guys in the group who were fat, who were goofy, we would just make fun of. And then I finally got to be on the winning side of it for once, because I was always getting clowned and excluded and all these things when I was younger. So really the one thing that allowed that change to happen was developing the physique. And like I told you, when I was younger, I was shy, I was insecure. So that wasn't the factor. I didn't develop my confidence and my personality first. It was the physique that got developed first. And then all these positive associations started to come along with it. And that's why it's so powerful that you get lean first. You put on muscle mass and you get lean. So if you're skinny, you got to add mass. If you're fat, you got to get lean. You got to get that fat off. You got to get ripped. And that's so important. That's going to change the game for you, and it's going to allow the winner's effect to kind of take over. The winner's effect basically states that once you get a win, you're more likely to win again. So if you get that initial win of, like, for me, building the body, then it's going to be easier for you to get that second win of, like, okay, I tracked that girl. Okay, now the guys in the friend group respect me. Okay, now things are starting to go good for me, and more wins are likely to come from it. But you have to do something to get that initial win. And for most people, building an aesthetic, attractive body is going to be the biggest win of their life, and it's going to snowball all these other wins. And that's why it's so powerful. And that's why lean is law is just like the most true thing ever. It's been one of the most influential and powerful things in my own personal journey. And once again, boosting your testosterone is going to be absolutely essential for this entire transformation. You need to have high tests. It's going to allow you to put on muscle quicker, lose fat faster, have more confidence, more energy, just absolutely kill the game. And that's why I built every single one of you the testosterone boosting guide. This goes super into depth on everything you can do. It's very powerful and it's completely for free. It's the first link in the description below. You can grab that now.